So you have years and years of experience as a director, as a writer, as an acting coach. Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I started when I was 15. I started acting when I was 15, and I was in a Noel Coward play, and and it just went. I went to Boston University for college, and I went to the Royal Academy in London, and I was acting for years, but I found it to be challenging because at that time, casting for women were really narrow.
Right.
So if you were in any way different, you weren't going to get a lot of jobs.
Right.
I was a punk rocker, I was a real rebel. And also I wanted to have more dominion over my creativity instead of waiting around for a job all the time, which unfortunately actors have to do quite a bit.
Yeah. So that sounds like a director in the making.
Yeah. So I started directing. I started as a fight director. I was the first female fight choreographer in the United States. Oh. So like when you see a Shakespeare play and all the sword fights, that I was the person who would choreograph that and train the actors. And I did that for many years.
How cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. And it taught me a lot about how to work with actors, how to get the most out of them, obviously. And also it taught me a lot about conflict, and if you the thing about drama and comedy is it's all based on conflict. And so I learned a lot about fighting to win the scene, right? And that helped me as a director because I got, being a stage combat choreographer is interesting, but it's not going to be really fulfilling for your whole life.
Right.
So I segged into directing.
Right, okay.
And so for many, many years, I was a professional theater director in the States and regional theater and smaller houses. And then I got to the point where I was like, well, you do all this work and you can do the best play anybody's ever seen, but when the play closes, it's gone.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's just like in a puff of smoke, and all you have is some reviews, or
and I guess it's like it never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't play the tape again.
Right. I mean, it's nice to have memories, but that's it. And so I started getting really interested in film.
Cool. And you're working on a very specific project right now.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
It's called Upside Down, and it's a short film, and it's a women-driven story. And it's about a single mom who's struggling to raise her 9-year-old Down syndrome boy on her own.
So that was a pretty hard-hitting movie.
Yeah.
And so you've written it?
Yes, I've written it. My wife and I, it's a family project, so my wife and I have written it together. Yeah. And I'll be directing it, and she'll be playing the lead. And our son, Stetson, who has Down syndrome, will be playing himself.
Wow, so that's really close to home.
Yeah, it's really close to home.
How has it been working on something that is really, must in a way be very vulnerable?
Well, as a writer, we're taught to write from our truth. Yeah. I've been writing a lot of genre, and so this is really good for me to keep it really simple and tell a personal story.
And so what are the themes for you personally that have come out through the movie?
Well, first of all, compassion. Yeah. And so many things that happen with single moms challenging things happen invisibly. They happen inside the home. And I think like when other mothers see us bring our special children to school, they don't really have a chance, because how could they, to consider what our unique challenges are. Yeah. And so we're hoping that people will watch the movie and open up a little bit around special kids.
And what is the style of the movie? I mean, is it kind of I imagine it might be quite sad in places. Is it quite uplifting?
It is in the end. we definitely are trying to be unflinching when it comes to looking at the challenges.
Yeah. And so listen, you're crowdfunding this, aren't you?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Great. So we were going for a $3,000 basic goal on Boosted, but we also have a stretch goal. So we met our $3,000 goal within a week.
Wow.
We still have a couple weeks to go, and we're getting there. We need a little bit more help to get over the final line.
Yes, well listen, it's not too late to donate. So the URL is right here. You can donate to support this fabulous film. So outside of the film though, actually your own personal circumstances of raising a Down syndrome child, that must be incredibly challenging.
It's, with great light comes great shadow. And so the gifts are off the chart. I would never have dreamt about how incredibly magical and wonderful it is to have a kid like this. Yeah. The difficult parts are really challenging. He was born very, very ill, and so we had to get through that. And then they develop a lot slower, so they'll get there. It's just so much, like he didn't walk until he was almost 3. Yeah. And toileting and stuff like that. So they will get there. You have to have faith in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's just parenting plus.
Yeah. Yeah, there's sleep issues involved. You have to, it really makes you kind of strong to have a kid like that.
Yeah. And how is he finding acting in it?
He loves it.
Yeah.
He's like stealing every scene he's in. We have all these really highly trained and professional actors in the film, and he's just chewing them to pieces.
Yeah. Let's have a look at Stetson, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
We've gotten a lot of likes.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. And so you've assembled quite a team. So local talk, and this is
all local,
right.
All local talent, all homegrown.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where will the film air?
We'll be it'll be in all the local festivals, and we're also going to try the international festivals if we do a good job. Yeah. And we'll try there, and also eventually, once it's run through the festivals, then we can put it online.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And what was the hardest thing about the journey so far?
It's hard to say that because everybody's been so incredibly gracious and supportive. I would say it was in the writing.
Yeah.
There's one scene in particular that's very, very emotional where our main single mom opens up and finally gets vulnerable and shares her struggles with some other women. And I had to go there to write it, you know?
Yeah.
About how hard it is sometimes.
Yeah. So I guess if people are going to go and see this movie, they probably need to bring their tissues with them.
I hope so. I hope that they cry and then they are happy at the end.
Brilliant. Thank you.